Oh my gosh, you guys, here we are. Oh, this is crazy. Like, I made it. Um, I decided that I was feeling very determined because I had a very fun card for us to do today. And here we are. We're doing it. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to let technology stop me from sharing this fun card with you. So, of course, you're probably going to miss me live, but that's okay. So, you can always come back and do the replay. So, here we go. Exciting. I don't even know when the rules changed, how the rules changed, but here we are. So, all is good. Let's get started. I'm going to flip down to my workstation, okay? Couple of things I want to point out. There are only 2 days left for celebration. So if you have stuff on your list, now's the time to get it and earn free product, right? So February host code is right up there and check that out. Use it if your order is under $150. And yeah, if you have any questions, just call me. All right, let's show you this fun card that I've been trying to show you for the last hour and a half. All right. Okay, so here we are. And like I said, I know it's not going to be, let me see if I can get this a little clearer. I think it looks kind of blurry. So let's see what we can do. Work. Better. All right, there we go. So last weekend, my teammate Sandy Mines and I hosted our first ever stamping retreat at the Drummond Wine Company here in Brainerd. It was so fun, and we got great feedback from everybody. So, again, thank you to all of you that attended, and we'll be hosting again this fall, October 2nd. So save the date and just watch our newsletters for updates, okay? Oh, Marlene, hi. Gosh, this has been a morning trying to get this thing working, but guess what? It's working, so it's all good. All right. So, the reason I was telling you about the retreat last weekend is in the little, we called them swag bags. We made these adorable little bags for people. Um, and one of the gifts inside was this stamp set called Create with Friends. We made a beautiful card using the love stamp here, but I wanted to share a card with you today that uses the friend stamp and then this little forever word, okay? Hi, Jen Piesick. We are friends forever, girl. I'm glad you're here this morning. And let's get started with our project. So as what I have is a card base using crumb cake cardstock. This measures 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. So it's just our regular card base size. All right, so there's our base. I have another piece that measures 3 by 4.5. And again, that's crumb cake. I have an insert for our card that measures 3.75 by 5. I have a piece that measures 2 inches by 4 inches, and then just a scrap piece of crumb cake and a medium basic white envelope. Okay? So here's the color palette that I've chose to use. I have crumb cake, early espresso, flirty flamingo, melon mambo, and pear pizzazz. So let's see how this all goes together. All right. I am going to bring in, before we go much further, I want to bring in our 2 pieces of crumb cake. And I'm just going to set this on here. I'm not gluing it, nothing. I just am putting it on top of my card base. I'm going to bring in my piercing pad and just a scrap piece of paper to stamp on. And using the crumb cake ink, I'm going to use a few of the items from this lovely You stamp set. I love this stamp set. It's great for creating backgrounds, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. And this can be found in the annual catalog. Okay? All right. So in the lovely You, there's this little stamp right here. I've mounted that on my block. I'm going to ink it up, and I'm just going to stamp over the card base and the little matted piece that we're going to be using. Okay, so it's going to look like that. Now I can lift this up, and I'm not going to stamp any more on either one of those for right now, but I'm going to bring in this piece that measured 2 by 4. And for that, this is the really fun part, or what I think is the fun part, is creating our own background. So I'm going to take stamps. I'm using this flower from the lovely You. I'm using this branch, leafy branch, and I loved this. So the colors that we're going to use for that, I'm going to do the Pear Pizzazz, and I'm going to use that on the leafy branch. And I'm just going to stamp that in random spots on our 2 by 4 piece. And while I have this out, I want to bring in our envelope. I'm going to add a branch right down there at the bottom corner. And the insert for our card is going to get a leafy branch kind of right in the middle like that. All right. So that's it for the Pear Pizzazz. Let's bring in Flirty Flamingo. And who hopped on? Linda, hi. I said I was feeling determined. I wanted this live today because I love this card and I wanted to share it with you. Plus, I know that a lot of you got the Create with Friends stamp set in your swag bag last weekend. It's like, let's use it. Let's make some cards, right? So I'm going to ink up this pretty, I don't know what to call it, kind of a leafy branch maybe. Ink it up with the Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to stamp it off and then stamp it on my card. Second generation stamping. Stamp it off, stamp it on. Okay, I'm going to stop there with that one for now. Then I'm going to bring in the Melon Mambo. This is a pretty bold from the Brights family. And I'm going to ink this up and I'm going to stamp this full strength to form the stamped background. You love it? I love it. I think I'm good right there. I'm going to stop. Stop while the stopping is good, right? All right. So that's that. And now I'm going to bring in Early Espresso. This is a real dark, you know, that espresso coffee brown. And using the Friends stamp from the Create with Friends, I'm going to ink this up. Silence. So I'm sorry about that. But here we go. I stamped the Friends in the Early Espresso. And while I've got the Early Espresso out, I'm going to take the Forever stamp from our Create with Friends. I'm going to ink that up. And I'm just going to put that right in on the inside. That's our insert for our card. Okay? Close that up. And that is so pretty. I just love, love, love the greens and the browns together. So our next step is after stamping this, friends, I'm going to take my snips and I'm just going to fussy cut. Fussy cut is part of the lingo here in the stamping world, but I'm just going to cut around the letters just to give it a visual interest. And you can see that when you fussy cut, I'm going to get rid of the extra paper. It makes it easier too. But you move your paper, not your scissors. And is what that does is it gives you nice, smooth, rounded edges around your lettering, okay? So just like that. You guys, I normally come to you at 9 a.m. on Saturday mornings for Coffee and Create. But this morning, Facebook decided to, I don't know, for whatever reason, put me in like a little Facebook jail for a while. But I'm back. Got it cleared up, so that's good. I'm going to bring in my little trimmer. And like I said, this measured 2 inches by 4 inches. So I'm just going to cut at the 2-inch mark. I'm going to cut my piece in half. All right? Let's bring our card base back in now. And is what we can do is add some Stamp and Seal to the top of our insert. I'm just going to put that in there just like this. All right. And then before we put this piece on, I'm going to show you a little bit of edging. This is nothing new. It's an old technique, but I don't use it very often, and maybe you've never used it or kind of forgot about it. But I'm going to take my sponge dauber. I'm going to ink it up. And now I'm going to brush on the edges of the crumb cake cardstock using crumb cake ink. And is what that does is it gives it that old world, vintage, distressed, whatever you want to call it, that look. Okay. Now, in just a minute, I'm going to show you my card that I put together prior to going live so that we would be ready with an idea for today. This is our linen thread. I'm going to wrap it around here twice, and I'm just going to tie it. And I'm going to tie it in a bow, but you know, like I always say, it doesn't have to be a bow. You can tie a knot, but I wanted a bow on here, so there it is. All right, I just want to snip that off. All right, let me show you now this thought I had while I was waiting in the wings with Facebook. But so here's the finished card. You can see how I put that edging on there. But I was thinking these would be cool too. So I'm going to do a this or that and show you what it looks like when we distress the edge of these too. And maybe this isn't going to be a good look. I don't know. We're just kind of going on the fly here. I think it is going to look good. It'll just kind of take away the brightness, the white, to help calm it down a little bit. Don't you think that looks cool? I do. I'm going to ink it up. Brush my edges again. And not a lot. You just kind of flick the edge like that. All right. Let's see what this looks like once we put it together. So I'm going to take some stamping dimensionals. Of course I am, right? And I'm going to pick these up and right there. Kind of put it in like the 5 pattern on a die. All right. I'm going to stick this in here. I'm going to put it at a little bit of an angle. Now this next one, I'm going to have this like laying over, so I don't want a dimensional up here, but I want dimensionals in like these 3 corners, okay? I'm going to do 1, 2, whoops. Move that one in. We don't want the dimensional showing. Take off the backings. And it's my corner that I want up there. So I'm going to add a little bit of Stamp and Seal so it stays down. And I'm just going to sneak this in like that. So you see how you still get the stamped edges there? Now let's put some dimensionals on the back of this. Oh, you guys, you're so sweet to hang in there with me this morning. It's kind of been a week of technical challenges. On Tuesdays, I do Technique Tuesdays, the last Tuesday of every month. And oh my gosh, this last Tuesday, I think it was internet issues along with the snowstorm. I don't know. It was just a challenge all the way around. So there's our vintage look, our vintage feel. But wait, we're not done. I want to bring in these mini dimensionals and our friends that we fussy cut. And I'm just going to add these kind of randomly across our cutout word here. Do one up here and one more. Why not, right? A lot of those on the feet. Up the backings. And we're now going to add this onto the front of our card. So it looks like that. And our inside. And let's get some brushed butterflies. These brushed brass butterflies, you can't say that too many times fast, are really awesome. They are shiny. They are very flat. So no problems when you mail them out. So I've got 3 butterflies placed in there randomly. And I hope you love it too. Thumbs up and hearts are appreciated. Good morning, Joyce Paulson. So there's our card. And like I said, you got that little bit of distressed feel. The other thing too, it's never a problem for me. I have plenty of designer series paper, but there is a way to stamp your own backgrounds. And honest, this set is amazing for stamping your own backgrounds. You just pick the colors and start stamping. The sentiments in here are pretty cool too. And be sure to use your Create with Friends set that you received last weekend in your swag bag. All right, you guys, your coffee kind of cooled off, I bet, while you were waiting for me to go live this morning. But it happened. That's how I am, determined. So, or maybe stubborn. I don't know, determined or stubborn, you decide. But I hope that you have a great rest of your weekend. And I will see you again next Saturday at 9 a.m. Don't forget, there's just 2 days of celebration remaining. So get in there, place your orders, and I'm just going to pop up my monthly house code here. Just move it up Oh, let's see. Will I move it? Sure. I'm going to move it right up there in the white so that you can see it. When you place your order, and if it's under $150, add the host code. And um, yeah, good stuff. Host code gifts. You'll always receive a card from me when you place your order. So bye for now.